Well, I would definitely, please God, be going to Copenhagen. And my main take is to encourage governments to consider forests as part of the solution. We have been encouraged by the fact that the United States of America this time is very much on board, thanks to the position that the Obama administration has taken, and the world is encouraged. And we hope that the third world, especially the African region, will be listened to in terms of being assisted to protect the Congo forest. As you know, the Congo forest is the second largest forest in the world, second only to the Amazon, and the third forest block is in Southeast Asia. And these three forests are the main three lungs of the planet. And we need to protect these forests and others, not only because they are holding a lot of carbon, but also because they continue to fix the carbon. I was amazed to hear that 20% of all the carbon dioxide being pumped into the atmosphere comes from forest degradation and deforestation, and especially from the developing world. And you know, those are not the areas that are sending greenhouse gases into the atmosphere. We often think of the industrialized world. So it is very important for us to encourage and to persuade the world to make forest protection part of the solution, rather than abandon it and try to say that we can negotiate about it later.
When you started by planting trees, what is it, Wangari Maathai, that first inspired you to do this?
Well, I must say that in the very beginning, I was inspired by the felt needs of the women from the countryside who said that they needed firewood, they needed food, they needed clean drinking water, very basic needs. And when I started, I did not have an idea of a movement, let alone of an issue that would eventually become a global issue. But once I started, it's like I opened a box a Pandora's box that then showed me the interrelationship between how we manage our resources, how we manage our environment, how we share those resources, and whether we live in peace or in conflict with each other. And that really opened up a completely different way of looking at the conflicts, whether they are conflicts within the national borders or global conflicts. Wherever you look at these conflicts, we are really fighting over resources. It is either water, land, minerals, somebody wants to control them, somebody wants to be to come in, some people are being excluded, and people sooner or later, if they are excluded, they seek justice, and economic justice, social justice, environmental justice. These are all very important rights and issues that need to be addressed if we need or if we want to live in peace with each other, whether it is within our own communities or, as I say, across the globe.
Wangari Maathai, talking about global conferences, which you must spend a good deal of your life going to, the conference in Copenhagen coming up, but you were just at the International Women's Conference in Liberia. Liberia, which also is governed by a woman president. Talk about what happened in Monrovia.
Well, actually, I was expected to be in Monrovia, but I was not able to go. But I do want to say that President Sirleaf Johnson is doing a great job. I wish she did not inherited such a devastated country, because she is having to do the basics first and foremost. And I'm hoping that she will demonstrate that with commitment, with devotion, change can be brought even in a country like that. And I'm hoping that the Liberian people will support her and they will commit themselves and try to make sure that they think about the good of the people rather than the welfare and the glory and the privileges that come with leadership, which has often been the challenge, the tragedy of Africa, where leadership forgets the people who put them there.
As you travel this country with your new book, your final message, Wangari Maathai, a Nobel Peace Prize winner, environmentalist, to the people of this country, to the United States, the consumes perhaps more than most countries in the world, far more in terms of resources.
Well, thank you very much. As I go around in this beautiful country, which I love, because many people know that I spent almost 5 years in this country and I got my education, and a lot of the inspiration that that continues to guide me was obtained while I was going to school in this country. It's really to share my experiences with the people of this great country and to encourage them to understand Africa better, so that as they try to help and to provide the leadership in the world, they can appreciate that it is not a simple matter. It is not something that you can fix overnight, that it is a complex issue. It needs a holistic approach so that we can truly have a peaceful area. And as we have seen right now, as we are looking in our television and seeing the tragedies that are taking place along the eastern coast of Africa, of the Somalia border, we recognize that failed states and conflicts in that part of the world or any other part of the world eventually come home. And so it is in our interest to promote good governance everywhere and to ensure that human rights are respected, equity is respected, because where you have too many people who are poor and few who are rich, sooner or later there is a conflict that may easily come knocking at our own doors.
Do you have a suggestion for what should happen in Somalia now with the latest piracy in the high seas?
Well, we are, of course, hoping that, the captain will be safe, will continue to be safe, and will be delivered to his family. And we hope that there will be a global effort to help Somalia to attain a government. We are dealing here with a failed state and a lawless state. And until we help that country, maybe through the African Union, maybe through the East African community efforts, I know that Kenya has been playing a very important role. And I know that the African Union has been very concerned. As we know, Ethiopian soldiers have just pulled out of that country. We need a much greater cooperation globally to help that country come back to normalcy, and so that they can begin to function as a state. That is the only way we can deal with the pirates in that region.
Wangari Maathai, Nobel Peace Prize winner, environmentalist, thanks very much for joining us. Her new book is called The Challenge for Africa. It's just come out this week. It's good to have you with us. I wish I could be in the studio with you, but I'm also excited to be on this community media tour. We're broadcasting from Ohio University. When we come back, two longtime peace activists join us. They live here in Athens, Ohio. Stay with us.
We gotta have peace.